So I got a comment saying if I could make a video of going to basic training with ADHD. So I'm gonna talk from my experience, but my ADHD could be different from someone else's. But with ADHD, like, you're very anxious in a way. You're very nervous, and that's my experience when I first started. I didn't know what to expect, but I was lost in the sauce. I could not concentrate to save my life. If it wasn't for my battle buddies that were helping me out, I wouldn't have made it, because I was so like, I was overthinking everything, and I was just super anxious about everything. I just couldn't think for shit. And when they're yelling at you and they're telling you to get your shit ready, to do this and that.
Shut the hell up! Why is that so difficult? You can't pick that back up. You decided to join the army and you can't pick that
Kind
back.
of takes you a while to think about what it is, or you just can't really remember what they told you, because it's always, the military is always attention to detail, and with ADHD it's like impossible to do that. With me, it was very impossible, but you know, I got through it. Like, even the drill sergeants like talked about how he didn't think I was gonna make it, but I made it, and I got promoted to an E2 at the end of the basic training. So yeah, I started out just lost in the sauce, because there's a lot of stuff that you gotta like know and do, and just getting yelled at and just taking it to heart, because like when you get in there, I don't know how it is. I know it's really different nowadays. I know it's like way softer than what we went through, but I remember like going in a shark attack and they're screaming at you, having the bag over your head, and everything's just flying at you 1,000 miles an hour, and your brain's going crazy, and the fatigue as well, like just the boring parts of like not trying to sleep and everything. That was pretty wild. But like, just don't. And I know like ADHD brains are like very robotic in a way. Like, they will do exactly what you tell us to do, but it has to be very specific. It can't be any like, hey, if you tell us like you're gonna walk 5 feet up and you're gonna take that left, we're gonna do that. We're gonna walk 5 feet up and we're gonna take it. We're gonna go left. And sometimes like some people will just like tell you things, but I take it very like literally, like. And that's how it was. Like, when they would tell me to do something, I would hear it one way, but it would be something different, and then they would be pissed off about it, like, hey, what the hell, man? And I remember I'd get, yeah, paying attention to the details. Like, I remember one time we were in the cafeteria, and you had to do small tray of the food, and I didn't do that. I didn't do small tray of the food, so I had to sit up there and scream small tray to the food for everyone to hear me and look at me, and you know, just because I messed up. But yeah, it's just paying attention. Like, base training is all about paying attention to the details, and it's really hard for ADHD people to do that. But like, if I can make it through base training, you can make it through base training. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be, and I bet you people that don't have ADHD probably go through some crazy shit too, because that shit is like, you think you're ready for it, and then you get in there, and I remember I wanted to give up. I remember my third weekend, I was like, what am I doing here? Like, this is not what I signed up for. Because like, I remember getting kicked off the lunch tray to get food. Like, he gave me 5 seconds to get my food, and that was it. And I ran out of 5 seconds. I looked down at my plate, I had like cottage cheese, a piece of chicken, and like some other like meal on there. And I remember sitting there like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I shouldn't have joined this stuff. But you know, it's because they wanted to break you down and turn you into a soldier. Like, that's how they do it. And they go through the same, like the drill sergeants too, when they're yelling at you, stuff like that. They had to go through the school as well. So don't take it personally when they're doing that, because they have to do it. You have to embrace the suck. It's turning into a soldier. But that basic training would be probably one of the most easiest times in military career, because you really only have to worry about getting up, doing PT, doing weapons, and just hanging out with your battle buddies. And that's pretty much all you have to worry about. But I remember like red phase would suck, because that's when they have to like turn you into a soldier. But then after the other phases, it should be not so bad. I went through Fort Benning, and I think there's like 2 other basic trainings. because those ones are co-ed. I think Fort Bennings's the only one with guys in it. That's the one I went through. But yeah, they're gonna make your life miserable, and it's gonna be hectic, and your mind's gonna be like pacing, racing, because you can't think. Like, you're literally like, you can't soak in information, and you're tired, and it's gonna be rough. But yeah, you got it. Like, I didn't see anyone fail base training. The only people actually, yeah, there's 3 people that failed base training. It's because they couldn't pass the PT, and that was it. And I think we have there's a lot of people, like 20 people in each platoon, and I think only 3 people didn't make it through ours because they want you to pass. Like, they really want you to make it. It's just that some people that you really have to screw up bad to not make it. Like, it's pretty simple. And that goes to your whole military career. Like, they want you to pass, except for if you're going like special operations and stuff like that, and that's when they really challenge you. But like BOC, AIT, base training, they just want you to get through that. And actually, yeah, I actually, no, let me go through this, because I suck at school, right? So yeah, this is about base training too, but I want to talk about AIT. I think the hardest part of my military career was AIT. The most humiliating and hardest part is because when I went through AIT, I suck at school. I cannot soak in information. I just don't do good in school, and this is why I'm in the oil fields, you know, because I like to do things hands-on. I'm not one to soak in information and remember it. So I remember going through AIT, and everything's fast-paced. You get into your class, you got a week to get all that information in, and they give you a test on that Friday. Guess how many tests I failed in my base training? No, not base training, AIT. 3 times. 3 times. You know how humiliating and it was just an awful experience for me. I hated my life. I think I was the most depressed I ever was in the military at AIT, because I just felt like such a dumbass. But I was kind of lucky, not really lucky, but I had someone else do the same exact shit as I was. He was failing the same exact test that I was. So I wasn't alone. I think if I was alone, I would have been way more down. But I had my buddy and I, failed 3 times. And AIT, people will tell you that's the easiest stuff in the world, but to me, I remember after a test, I go to my buddies I don't think I'm failing that, bro. Like, I think I failed that. And they're like, yeah, me too. But literally, in my eyes, I know I failed that, because I didn't get no information soaked in here at all. Like, when I looked at that test, I was like, yeah, I'm fucked. And I'll get that test back, like, yeah, you failed. So you had to go to a different instructor. So once you fail a test, you go to a different instructor. And they fail another test, you go to a different instructor again. And I was lucky enough to have Mr. Calhoun. Shout out to Mr. Calhoun, because I had his course, and I had one more test left. And I was going to fail that one too, and I was going to get reclassed. Because if you fail in AIT 3 times, you're supposed to get reclassed. But he gave me another chance, and he walked me through that test. So yeah, I felt like such a dumbass, and I've never been good at school. Like, I knew that was gonna be my hardest part, because I can do the base training, I could do the push-ups, AIT was just rough for me, because it was just fast-paced learning, and I need time to I need notes, and there's no notes, no time for notes in AIT, because it's all, and you could look up answers too. It was control, yeah, you just push the button on the computer and then learn how to cheat, but I just could not. I don't know, I've just never been good at school. Like, any test I take, I already automatically know I'm gonna do below average. And that was the worst for me. Like, when you have your class going into the next exam, and you're sitting in the hallway waiting to be talked to the person that controls that AIT, and then you sit back in your AIT. Like, I think my course wasn't to be 8 weeks. I sat there for about, I think 13 weeks I was there in AIT. That was the hardest part. Like, base training, getting yelled at, yeah, that was, because I noticed how ADHD people are very emotional as well too. So in base training, you get yelled at, screamed at, and you got to be able to hold your emotions in. You don't want to show weakness, but with ADHD, like we have a fear of rejection and a fear of like messing up. So when that happens, you get very emotional and down. But to me, AIT was like definitely the worst for me because it's all about learning, and I would just be so nervous because I knew I would have a hard time. Like once I found out it was school, I felt my heart fucking drop. But yeah, this is a video about that whole ordeal. But I hope that helped in a way, because it's not so bad. And if you're good at school, because some ADHD people excel at school, and if you're good at school, then you have no worries. Basic training, just get through it. Just, you get yelled at and get treated like dumbass, or like some people are judging you, just know that you're going on to another base. They're going to another base. You guys are never going to see each other again. But the Army is a small world. But to be honest, people I went to AIT with and base training with, I never really saw them that much. Like I saw a couple people here and there, but other than that, I didn't really see nobody. But yeah, I hope this video helped, and if it did, like leave a comment and or let me know. Peace.